Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I'm here with your favorite, Chris Franjola. We are going to talk about what's going on, but also get your mind off of it as well.
Right.
Because we're going to give you the fun.
Did you, now, have you been talking about it leading up to this on the podcast?
Just on Tuesday, just a little bit, just letting them know that I'm going to continue to put out shows. And yeah, now our house, I feel really lucky. We have toilet paper, we have food. One thing that we're doing is I don't want to use like our frozen food or our like food that we have to use from the house because I feel like the next thing will be delivery food will be no more.
Okay.
So a couple days ago, Peter said Fleming's, which is one of our favorite steak places.
Oh, it's a good spot.
They are doing takeout and they had some deal.
They're delivering or you pick it up?
Well, you have to pick it up.
Yeah.
But they had some deal. And we probably spent a solid 24 minutes figuring out what to order.
Yeah.
Between the kids wanting a more well-done steak, all this thing. But I'm like, hey, I feel like it's the end of the world. You're getting cuter. I'm eating better food.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink the better wine. Why the fuck not? You know?
Right.
And so tonight we're going to explore the Ruth Chris takeout.
Oh, okay. These
meat.
are great ideas. Yeah.
But why not? Because these restaurants are there, and then save your like frozen or your stock food for like if things really get scary.
I did it yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, like a very sad St. Patrick's Day because you really couldn't go out or anything.
And for all the people that depend on that,
yeah,
being the
like
biggest
anyone
day.
at an Irish pub or anything. But I went and got corned beef and cabbage from my friend's bar, a local peasant, and he said he was busier than he thought. Like just pick up, just grab it and go. And he was like, I actually wasn't expecting it to be this busy. But he needed to get rid of it because he had so much corned beef and cabbage, not expecting this to happen.
Right.
So he was only charging $10. So
for
it was
corned
pretty
beef and cabbage.
Yeah,
meal.
for like a lot of it.
Why didn't you tell us that? We would have gotten that last.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me know about.
So
the
I'm
good
saying
deals.
that there might be some deals out there because these people do have to get rid of the food.
This is the thing. There's going to be plenty of food. They said that.
Yeah,
they
there's
said,
plenty of food.
Don't worry about the food. Don't worry about the grocery stores. I was waiting in line. Okay, Peter and Drake went out 2 mornings in a row to go and just get some more stuff, right?
And they're going to like what, like Ralph's or
one time it was
Target?
Costco, one time it was Ralph's, okay? They came back. Oh, the line is too long, the line is too long. The most impatient person. Yesterday, I go, I'll go with you, Peter. I did not think the line was long. They're letting people in just by like a group.
Costco.
No, this is Ralph's,
okay.
Our regular grocery store. It's not raining out. I'm in the line. I'm talking to this woman, and Peter's like, oh, this line. I go, just get me a Starbucks coffee. He gives me a coffee. He hands me the coffee, and this woman behind him goes,
oh, it's. You might as well pull out a gun right now. In an airport or
and I
anywhere.
Go, oh my God! And I'm like, just leave.
Yeah.
Like because I'll never scold this woman.
Yeah.
I'll never make someone feel bad. I just was like, okay.
But
our back is to her. It's fine. I'm not going to I'm not going to scold some 60-year-old woman. I'm just not. I don't care. So I'm like, just go. So he left. I did my shopping. Everybody was fine.
Yeah.
Like, they had the only one thing of toilet paper each. I got it. I'm good.
Okay.
Like, it was pleasant. They were out of milk. The guy goes, come back tomorrow. We've got milk tomorrow. Like, so the kids started school. As I said, I witnessed Brandon get disciplined by the teacher online. I'm like, really, my kid?
Now, the kids aren't going back to school. It's going till June.
Do not tell me that.
Well, he just said it today. Just as I was coming here, Gavin Newsom said today, it's done till June. The governor. He said, don't expect your children to come back.
The fuck on.
That's breaking news, everybody. He just basically had a press conference as I was leaving the house saying that why would they go back for a month?
Because they're not learning anything at home.
Sorry, the boys are home till June. Yeah.
Okay, Kelly is looking it up.
Yeah, well, it may not be official yet, but it'll be official tomorrow.
California schools will likely be closed for the remainder of the school year.
Thank you. Till June.
Will likely.
That means yes.
I just picked. Okay, then I guess we probably won't have a graduation either.
Who's graduating?
Brandon. It's 8th grade, but still.
Oh, yeah.
All the colleges stopped their graduations.
Yeah.
In Northern California.
Right.
Anyway, you had a great idea of something to talk about, which was you texted me and you said, let's do a Sex in the City.
Oh, I've been having a blast with my quarantine Sex in the City because New York City's basically shut down right now.
That's right.
Yeah, and what would they do with...
If there was an episode about Sex in the City where we're being quarantined,
Yeah,
I'm Kim Cattrall.
What would Samantha do?
Well, first of all, every night I'm starting with a quarantini. It's a martini where you have yourself. That's not my joke. I saw it in a clever little meme. Someone's been sending over this thing called the internet.
Ooh, fun. Yeah. Yeah. With all...
How are we supposed to fuck if I don't know if you've got the disease or not? Hell, that was every partner I had during the 90s. I didn't know if you had a disease or not. I was open borders.
I mean, how could we... They would have had an entire season about quarantined. You know, what could they do? You're out in Brooklyn. What, are you surviving out in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
You know, whoever had to go out to Brooklyn or...
Big doesn't want to get together right now because he feels that he has a heart condition. And I'm like, you don't... No, I think of some like... Oh, we'll use Sarah's joke. You know, I don't care about quarantine. I need some quarantine.
Yeah.
That was Sarah's little joke yesterday. Yeah. Then what about Miranda? Miranda would be with her.
Which one was Miranda? She's the redhead?
Oh, she's going crazy because her baby daddy's a bartender.
He's a bartender. Home. Oh, yeah, he's home all the time. Yeah. So she has to leave the house. And...
No, she can't leave the house. She's doing litigation court from home.
That's perfect.
What's his name? What was her boyfriend's name?
Joey or something?
We're looking it up.
He's
I can't remember her guy's name. But Brady's the boy.
Yeah.
Brady and Olga or whatever is the nanny.
Oh, that's the nanny. Yeah.
And so Steve.
Steve, that's it. Yeah.
Steve's driving me absolutely crazy. He doesn't realize that I have to work. He's off because of the bars, but I actually have to work. Honey, why don't you just go in the closet and fuck them from behind? You don't have to see their face. They don't have to touch you. Put a condom on it. A condom's been the greatest corona stopper ever. You put a condom on a penis, you stick it up the back, and everybody's happy for 4 to 6 minutes.
There's a lot of things going on online. I suggest you get yourself a laptop. And then Mario Cantone high fives her, and they Purell each other's hands.
Yeah.
You know.
What are all the gays doing?
Yeah.
They haven't stopped fucking since 1985.
Right. AIDS didn't stop them, and neither will this. Right. I mean, it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing is to go back and...
Wait, whoever heard about Charlotte. Well, Charlotte's going to be very stressed about this. She's got 4 dogs to take care of.
Right.
Can you put hand sanitizer
Oh,
on
she's
their
going to
paws?
be constantly hand sanitizing. Yeah. That'll be her shtick.
Harry, I love him, but he's been annoying me. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Oh, honey, please. Everybody's husband is home and annoying the shit out of them.
And then
that's why I'm so glad I'm single and just have suitors. They deliver the food and deliver the dick.
Then she goes to pick up her food, Samantha, and she opens the door and she's got a mask, one of those medical masks, on her mouth and also on her vagina and her boobs. And she says to the delivery guy, like, "Are you ready?" or something. Yeah. And then you assume that could,
No, I don't think she has it just on her face.
Okay.
She has it on her gloves.
Okay.
But then she says, he could go down on me. The Surgeon General didn't say it's contagious down there.
Yes.
That's the one kind of mouth to mouth or mouth to vagina we don't have to worry about. Forget about kissing.
Social distancing. Just go downtown. That's far enough away. Oh, boy.
I thought of something that was good that might come out of this.
What's that?
School shootings will go down.
They already have. Well, maybe not. Oh, yeah, they can't shoot each
other. Of course!
They can't shoot each other through the computer.
I was hoping that would, I don't know, get a better reaction because I did think it was the one.
But I actually saw somebody write that same thing.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've been thinking that for a while, but I was too scared to write it.
Yeah, somebody tweeted it.
I thought someone would think it was too nasty.
Yeah. It's now you see.
I'm excited about the Corona babies that will be happening.
I saw your tweet about that, and that's true because they will be.
Yeah, definitely.
Because actually, I think it was Dr. Oz suggested yesterday that people have more sex because it does increase whatever it takes to fight.
Yeah, and if you can't go to
the
if you can't do fertility, maybe here's the thing: my sister went through it all and then got pregnant naturally after 8 tries.
Right.
She had her one successful son from in vitro, and then at 39 got pregnant naturally because she wasn't really thinking about it. So just even if you've had trouble trying to get pregnant, don't give up on the boning.
Yeah.
And I've told people this before. I am not a doctor. What? I thought you were. This is how you this is a very good way of getting pregnant. It worked for me. It's worked for several people I know.
Okay.
Once your period ends.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good.
Now you're done. The period's done.
Got it.
You bone every other day for at least 10 days.
So, okay. So,
Okay.
like,
Don't
5
bone every
times.
day because the sperm might not be as good every day.
Yeah.
Bone every other day for 10 days.
Yeah. And did that work? Did that work?
It's worked for a lot of people.
Okay.
And someone told me
Sounds like a good idea.
worked for me, worked for a lot of other people I've said. And it's just because a lot of people do that ovulation tests and stuff, and sometimes that's not correct.
Well, I think that's a great, that's a good tip for people who are stuck inside. I'm going to give my tip now for people who are, scrambling to get toilet paper and things like that. And I think it's a really good tip. I know many of you people, depending on what city you live in, you have your supermarket that you normally go to, and then you have a ghetto supermarket or whatever it is that you probably don't go to. Go to that one. They have everything there. 99-cent store, those kind of places.
Really?
Because, those people don't watch the news. They don't have the news. They don't have cable. They don't know what's going on, so they're not stocking up yet. So you'll walk into like a 99-cent store, or what's the other place? Big Lots, and they got it. They got it. It's there.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's just because I've actually done it for the last 2 days, and they have everything. They have Purells and things like that.
I'm show you a couple of this. Okay, some of my female and maybe gay juicy scoopers were very excited about, hold on, let me find him. Okay, let me go to this photo here, about our Surgeon General.
Oh, yeah.
They thought he was really hot. He's a great-looking, bald African-American guy.
He's got 2 kids. I saw him this morning talking about
Well, once someone posted about how hot he was, everyone was like, yeah, he is. A couple of people said, I don't like his voice. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. He's been in medical school for who knows how long.
Yeah.
He's essentially a nerd. He's the Surgeon General.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
So, but he is very good looking.
Yeah.
But then people say he talks and he doesn't look, he's not as horny. That doesn't make him as horny.
Yeah, I kind of
maybe
agree.
it's
I've
also
heard his
what
voice.
he's talking about is not a real horny subject.
No, it's not turning you on for him to hear talk about washing your hands.
Speaking of people that got themselves in trouble doing these fun Instagram lives like we just did, Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens.
Tell the people what happened with Vanessa
Well,
Hudgens.
I guess she was doing, it seemed like it was a longer video. She was doing like a Facebook Live or Instagram Live, whatever. So, in just talking for an hour, whatever she was doing, she flippantly said something along the lines of, who cares if old people die? Right?
Oh, the exact quote is
more or
here.
less is what she said.
Here,
right?
what did it say? Vanessa, apparently already bored in a quarantine, decided to do a makeup tutorial Monday night.
Yeah.
But swayed off topic when a viewer asked about the quarantine possibly lasting until July. The actress said that sounds like a bunch of bullshit and then dug herself an even deeper hole. She said, even if everybody gets it, people are going to die, which is terrible, but inevitable. You do have to see how she said it because the tone makes all the difference.
The tone does make all the difference. I watched it, and the tone makes all the.
What do you think the tone was?
The tone is, who cares about old people?
It was a bad tone.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and this seems to close the tone deaf as you can get. It seems to be tone deaf as you get. All the online backlash you'd expect already began, and even Vanessa seemed to catch herself adding, "Maybe I shouldn't do this right now." She took her own advice and continued applying the makeup, but a little too late.
Oh, she went on to makeup tutorial?
Yeah, here she is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how many people are taking their medical advice from Vanessa Hudgens.
Well, it's not medical advice. It shows that she doesn't care. Again, it's like, oh, so what if it's old people? Like, old people have to go. She doesn't realize, it just makes you seem really ignorant.
Yeah, she's also one of those kids who's been, a kid star, and I think we'll all learn. This will be an interesting lesson to take from all this because many of you are having to homeschool your children right now, and you're realizing how difficult it is. And now you know what a Vanessa Hudgens went through, and all these kids who are troubled teen actors, kid actors, because they were homeschooled, many of them, and probably getting a very shitty education because the people who homeschooled weren't great at it. So, that's why Vanessa Hudgens seems dumb as shit.
Yeah, because when you're homeschooled or a TV.
Or like a Corey Feldman or any of those guys, like they're dumb as shit. That's part of the problem. I mean, it is. Look, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, all those guys.
You don't know that they're dumb as shit.
Oh, come on. You had the guy on your podcast. He's
I know
dumb
it
as
was
shit.
difficult. I agree that it is not the same education when
If
you're
you
on
had
the
to
set.
pick-
Oftentimes, though, these kids are actually really smart because they learn how to read when they're young.
Yeah.
They can memorize lines. They're around adults. So sometimes they don't have the amount of formal education that a regular kid has, but they oftentimes are highly intelligent.
Who?
The child actors
Name
and
one.
singers. Lots of them.
Name one who's highly intelligent.
Brooke Shields. She got into Princeton.
Brooke Shields, I'll give you. Okay, that's the one. That was 50 years ago. Can you name another one?
I remember being surprised. Wow, she got into Princeton.
Yeah.
She must have learned something on all those sets in order to, but now who knows with this day,
Right.
now that we know that all that stuff's bullshit.
She was also.
Who knows if-
Brooke Shields. Yeah, here's another one. Thank you.
Amanda Bynes. Let's talk about
Yeah, you think
Amanda
you want her to be
Bynes.
your Jeopardy partner? I doubt it. She's not great.
Amanda Bynes. First of all, I've been waiting a very long time. When is this fashion line coming out? She went to fit him. She's been fit him for like 10 years.
Wait, she has a fashion line?
No, she doesn't. But she went to fashion school after she had her breakdown a few years ago. Then she went to FITM, which is the Fashion Institute school. We've never seen the line of clothing. Now she found some boyfriend named Paul Michael. She said she was engaged.
A tattoo on the face. Did the tattoo on the face,
the
like a
tattoo
home
on the
tattoo.
face. Oh, here it's not in this photo.
No.
Here she looks cute, but
Oh, she's pregnant?
she said she was pregnant, and she showed a sonogram photo.
Right.
But then she removed the sonogram photo from her Instagram feed. So we don't know that means that she really wasn't pregnant, or she was like, "Ooh, maybe I shouldn't share it."
Yeah.
She had a boyfriend, then she's broken up with the boyfriend, then she said she was pregnant, then she took down the Instagram pregnancy photo. So we don't know what the truth is.
So this is what's going to happen with this. A lot of people
Please
are
tell
bored.
me.
A lot of people are bored at home, and you're going to get a lot of this Vanessa, because they're
Just
Yeah.
for attention.
yeah, just for because I don't know if you've noticed, there's a lot of them now. I saw today on Entertainment Tonight or whatever. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were doing like some home concert, and so was Chrissy Teigen and John Legend home concert, because they're like all freaking out. Like, wait a minute, we're stuck in our house. No more red carpets. No more people, fawning over us. So they haven't lived a life where nobody gives a shit about
You know
them
what?
for
Big
a long
stars
time.
ruin everything for the little people. When, there was a time when all of a sudden big movie stars started doing TV. Okay,
Right.
That was like 25 years ago, 30 years ago. TV used to be second tier actors, and they started doing it. And the TV
Right.
people were like, "What the fuck? Why are you taking my leads from my bit?"
Yeah.
That happened. Then, now it's happening with podcasting.
Podcasts.
They're
And-
all
yeah.
coming onto our thing, which was the little middleman guy, the
A
comedian
waiter, yeah.
that we could get. Now Oprah has one, and Hillary
Everybody.
Clinton, and
Yeah.
and now they're taken away from the social influencers and the YouTubers that would do the cooking shows and would do these things.
Yeah.
Now they're all going to be doing it too. It's like, can you just leave something for the little guy?
No, they can't, because they have to be, always have some sort of attention.
Yes.
And the fact that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban can't leave the house for the next 6 months, think they just stay quiet and sit in the house and straighten each other's hair? No way. They got to do something where they're going to see likes. I'm as guilty as the next person. I'm not. I'm doing shit.
actually doing it because I got to still get people listening to the show.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I kind of like this time in my life. I don't
Yeah.
know how I'll feel in a month, but the last 5 or 6 days, we're still working, but their days are a little shorter. I don't have to pick up the kids. I don't have
Yeah.
to wake up at a certain time. I was waking up at 6 a.m. Now I've been sleeping so much. I go to bed at still 9:45.
Really?
9:45, 10 is when I go to bed, and I'm waking up past 7 every day.
So wait, you're in bed at 9:45. Are you in bed, or are you watching TV in bed? Are you asleep in bed?
I pretty much turn off the TV around 9:45, 10.
Really?
And then I don't have to set the alarm, and I've been waking up 7, and I'm like, oh, I can sleep a little longer. And and I'm just so, I may, providing I get in to see my Dr. Kasabian, and I get to sleep, I may
Right.
look amazing when this is over with.
Yeah, some people
because
might.
I will have so much sleep. But the not working out and stuff and the amount of food and alcohol that I'm enjoying. Because I told Peter, I go, don't even fucking, I'm having wine. Like, I don't.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. I
so
don't
every
care.
night, it's some
Every
wine.
night. I had 2 glasses playing Monopoly last night with the kids.
Now, are you doing board games?
We did a board. Yeah, we're going to do, I love Scrabble. So they said tonight we'll do Scrabble. Last night we did Monopoly.
Okay. Did you take it to finish? Did someone win? Because I feel like Monopoly is one of those games that really takes a long time. You never see a winner.
When we called it when Drake became Trump.
Oh, he bought all the property?
Yeah, at first I couldn't believe it. He was mortgaged to the hilt, just like Trump. Just mortgaged.
He built a wall around Park Place.
And then all of a sudden, he had a couple lucky where you win the middle of the thing.
Yeah.
A couple
community chest.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah, he won the not community chest, but where you put the money in the pit or whatever.
Yeah.
He won that a couple times, and also if we weren't paying attention and we missed someone landing, then that's it. You can't tell them. You can't remind the partner, hey, you landed on Drake's thing. And then all of a sudden, he won the whole thing. We were both broke. We still had some properties, but then Brandon and I were like, screw it. He's never not won, Drake. He's never not won in my life.
Now,
so I've been playing him since he was like 8. He's won every time.
Can I ask you what? I know they've changed the pieces. It used to be like a thimble, but nobody knew what a thimble was anymore. Right. So they had to get rid of that.
We have a couple. They do a couple.
A wheelbarrow and a dog. What do you?
We like the original, though we do have one from Aspen. We have one from Vegas.
They're like, those are different.
And it's kind of fun.
Special Aspen
but they
Monopoly.
like to play the original.
Yeah.
So I always choose the cat. We make a rule: you can't choose a cat and a dog because they look too similar and people forget. So like, I'm a cat.
I never had a cat.
I'm a cat, and then Drake is like a car, and Brandon I think is the shoe.
Yeah. Oh, they still have the shoe? The old shoe. And then it still go directly to jail. I felt like that was a harsh punishment. Go directly to jail.
Right.
For,
you
really...
can pay $50 to get out of jail, though.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
That's
or you roll 3 times and you get doubles.
Yeah.
You roll 3 I hope you guys whip out your Monopoly game because you you probably how to play.
I did.
And it actually really is fun.
And actually talking to you about
it's
it's coming
fun.
back to me. But I kind of think I've forgotten how to play.
It really is exciting. It really is a fun game.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Okay, I want to talk about. Did you hear about this girl that licked an airplane toilet seat because she wanted it to go viral?
Yes,
and
I watched it.
I couldn't watch it.
Well, she only licked. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Okay,
but she didn't lick the part where someone's ass would be. She licked like the front of it. You know how a toilet seat would be.
Yeah.
So maybe that's if there's any. I mean, I've seen people do this before. This is a thing online. There's many of them. People licking toilet seats.
Right.
It's just,
it is a thing.
Yeah.
Just to show you, like, I'm
insane. Yeah. Like.
Do you know that I remember hearing this many years ago where someone said, when you go into a public toilet seat and you take out the thing and you put it on your ass.
Yeah.
On the seat,
paper,
you sit on the ass. They said that thing that you sit on is one of the cleanest surfaces that there is in a bathroom.
The
because
paper.
No. Like the seat that you sit on is not dirty.
Why is that?
Because it's your thighs.
Yeah.
It's really not. And your thighs aren't touching everything else. So like your hands or the handle, that is got more
But I think
germs.
people are thinking of like ass cheeks. Those are on there, aren't they?
Yeah, but the ass cheek, there's a lot of space between where the poo comes and where you're sitting on your thigh.
Yeah.
So I always remember that. I always remember thinking, if you get into a bathroom and there isn't one of those things,
right,
it's really not that bad of a situation.
I don't think anyone's ever gotten sick from sitting. I mean, you're probably worse
off
grabbing the handle of the door on the way out.
So if they're licking that part, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's
not
still
that bad.
Gross, but it's not as gross as you think.
Right? They'd be crazier licking the door handle on the way out of the bathroom
or the handle of the
toilet
toilet seat. Yes.
Well, anyway, I saw the girl. It's that's what people do online. It'll be 2 weeks before Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman are licking toilet seats.
Before we get into another thing, these people did have a Corona wedding. They had it in the French Quarter. They did not cancel it. They have these photos, and I thought it was a joke because the bride and the groom have the masks on, and so does the Reverend. And then the people at the party, they'll all have masks on, and they're ripping it and they're dancing. Okay, this guy James Goldstein. He was in the Hollywood Reporter. The story is really just about how rich he is. And of course, he has no air, shocker. But he's 80 and his outfits are insane. And I've seen him at the Laker
games. This guy's at the Laker games.
At the Laker games all the time. And he's worth $100 million. And he lives in the big Lebowski, I always say it wrong.
Yeah.
Lebowski house.
Right.
And he has parties and nightclubs and a 4th of July party that, Jamie Foxx was at and all these people. And he gave a surprise birthday party for Rihanna. And I was telling Kelly, I go, this kind of guy that's like rich and still throwing parties at 80. I'm going to be a girl that goes to his parties. And you're going to be questioning why I'm friends with him or why I go.
You're
just my normal guy friend.
Got it.
And
okay. Now, what is his name?
His name's James Goldstein.
James Goldstein. Okay.
No. Oh, that was James who called me. He's such a sweetie. We're gonna go to his house. He's having like a get together Saturday night.
James Goldstein, the guy who wears the sharkskin jackets at the Laker game?
Yeah, I know he's like eccentric, but oh my God, he's so fun. He's so interesting. He took a bunch of my girlfriends and I to the Laker game, and it was just like you have to get to know him.
Isn't he like 90?
He's 80, but he's like a really young 80.
Okay.
He's just like he's hilarious. Is he not? Kendall, is he not hilarious?
Is he? Okay.
He's so funny.
Now, what do you do at his house when you go to his house?
He usually has like a game on and some music, and we just enjoy the pool and we hang out, and he's got a lot of art.
Oh.
So like we talk about art, and I mean,
are you into art? I didn't know you were into art.
Oh my God. You're a dick.
No, I didn't. I'm not saying into bed. I didn't know you were into art.
Been into art.
You have?
Yes.
Like what? I'm not
to
questioning it.
Basel.
What's your favorite?
I went to Art Basel 2 years ago.
You did?
With my ex.
Oh, okay.
Who was his good friend.
And did you guys buy anything while you were there?
No, but we looked at it and went to parties.
I've been to your house. I haven't noticed any art.
I am very into art.
Okay. Well, so he has a lot of art on the wall?
Yes. So we talk about art, and when Riri had her birthday party there, that's Rihanna, short for Rihanna.
Uh-huh.
They're like really good friends. And
Yeah.
he's just a really eccentric, but such a sweetie.
Is he a sweetie?
So he is like, we just are like, I call him Jimmy.
Okay.
Because his name
That's
is James.
cute. That's
and I'm
cute.
like, Jim, and I'm like, Jim, can my girlfriends come over? It's a sunny day out. And he's just like, sure, girls, come on over. And, and then oftentimes he's out and he gets tired.
Yeah.
And so then he just goes off to bed. But he's like, girls, continue to stay.
Now, not to get out of line here, but is he coming on to you guys? Because I feel like a lot of times when these older guys are inviting young girls over, that's what they just want to come on to you.
I mean, honestly, it's like a grandfather-granddaughter relationship.
Okay.
Like, of course, yes. Have I sat on his lap? Yes. Have I hugged him and, kissed him on the cheek because he touched my tit? How
Right.
can you not? It's a pool party.
So, okay.
But yeah, it's pretty much.
Has there been other
stuff.
famous celebrities when you go to his house? Have you seen like Rihanna?
Jamie Foxx,
Jamie Foxx,
Rihanna, Snoop.
Oh, they've all
Snoop.
been there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Snoopy
that's fun.
Snoop. We're all like, everyone just really has mad respect for him
Yeah.
and what he does for the
Okay.
community.
Sounds like a pretty fun time.
And the community is holding disco parties at his house.
And have you gone to the Laker games?
Yes, but you know what he does is he always sits on the visitor's side. That's like his thing.
Oh, okay.
So he goes to every game, but you never know who he's really rooting for.
I've seen this guy around town. Like,
Of course. Yeah.
this
Once
guy.
I saw the outfit, I was like, oh, I've seen that freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good for him. I mean, yeah. How did he make his money? How did he make his fortune? Do you know?
On this is when you know he's not that good of a person, but on mobile home parks.
Oh, yeah.
And then he
I heard
sued the
about-
city of
yes,
Corona
yes.
he sued some city for like years, and they called it litigation terrorism.
Yeah.
Where he was trying to keep them from doing rent control of his properties or something. I don't know. It's a big, ugly thing, but he has a lot of money for it. And he says he will donate some of it to LACMA. I told you he was into art.
Oh, he's into art.
Yeah, he's going to donate some of it to LACMA because they have an
Yeah.
heir. But this was sort of a juicy. When he was young, he had an affair with Jane Mansfield, who was married to Hargitay, who, you know that James Mansfield and Hargitay are the parents of Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah. Jane Mansfield died in a car accident. Yeah.
You know the story.
I do know the story. Yeah.
Tell the story.
Well, I don't. What's the story?
Because Kelly just reminded me of the story. It was crazy. So Mariska Hargitay, who I assume is in like her mid-50s now.
Right.
You know, this is a time where people weren't wearing seatbelts and stuff. And they were on a road trip, her parents, and he was Mr. Universe. She was James Mansfield. Yeah. And he was an actor too. And I guess at some point she had an affair with this guy and he beat him up, but they stayed together.
It was like Arnold Schwarzenegger's first role before he was
being in this guy's movie.
Was playing that guy in like the Jane Mansfield story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they were driving and Mariska, as a little girl, was tired, so she laid in the back of the car and fell asleep.
Yeah.
And then some big truck came, and they went under the truck, and the whole top of the car was removed along with their heads.
Yeah.
But she lived because she was laying down.
Yeah.
Which had they not allowed that, because of today, you'd say you can't just lay down without a seatbelt, then she would have been probably decapitated too.
Right. And in Law and Order, probably, who would Ice-T yell at? And on Law and Order. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, I've heard, actually, you could see, I think online they have like pictures of the car after the accident. Somehow I know that story. I'm not really familiar with Jane Mansfield's work like in movies, but.
So people getting bored and making mistakes on the internet, by the way.
I said this is going to happen.
And it just happened again. Vanessa's not the only one. Tori Spelling is another. So she was home with her daughter, and she put on Insta story a photo of her daughter with like a green handkerchief on her head, and she put Cheez-Its, or Cheetos on each nail with a rubber band, so like her nails look long. And Tori wrote, "Days kept inside, we have to get creative. Hattie, her daughter, has become McQuisha in her Cheeto Cheeto extension
racist.
nails."
That's racist. Yeah.
So everyone lost their shit.
If they were flaming hot Cheetos, that would be really racist. Because
they like spicy stuff.
They love flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah. Can I say something else, people? Maybe you don't have to share every single thing on the internet.
Exactly. That's like this Vanessa Hudgens. It's like, we understand maybe that's your thought, that you have with your friends. And
maybe she truly thought that was kind of funny that the daughter put her nails on.
Yeah.
And maybe the daughter has seen women like that with long nails, and she kind of created a character of a woman with long nails. Laugh at your daughter. Maybe tell her, like, okay, only for the house. But you don't need to put it on Insta
And also,
story.
I think if you're a comedian, you have a little more wiggle room with things like this. Like if Kathy Griffin put this on, or whoever, or even you.
Yeah.
I think it would be a little more like, oh yeah,
no, I'd be terrified. I would never do this.
Yeah.
I think we know not to do this anymore. But I think because she's not a comedian, she doesn't know not to do it.
Right.
And she really thought her daughter was being funny and really thought it was creative.
Yeah.
That she created a character that wasn't
herself. So Tori
herself.
Spelling gets dragged. Oh, that's the term now for people.
Yeah.
Okay. Naming daughter McQuisha during a dress-up game. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I feel bad. Anyway, this was amazing. There's a new show called Below Deck Sailing. And when it started, it was pretty boring. So unlike a big yacht, this is a sailing yacht.
Okay.
So sometimes they're like, get ready to sail. And they're like, yeah, put up the sails. And then everyone just like leans over to the side. And like all the doors and everything come out and they show them. I don't know how they film this thing, whatever. But they only sail like 1 hour a day, where they really are like leaning to one side and they turn off the motors. So
that's what Gilligan's Island was supposed to be, 3 hours. And like, look how that turned out.
So this show is pretty boring. And Below Deck, they have more exciting characters on it. There's a Captain Lee. There's Kate,
People
who's
love
now
that show,
well,
but Below
Kate
Deck.
is leaving now, but the original Below Deck with Captain Lee, because he's such a character.
Yeah.
And he's so what you'd imagine a guy like this to be. They have a lot more drama, so their own cast was interesting. But in this show, it had a real slow beginning until these guests came on, which they spread them across 3 episodes.
Right.
Because they were so douchey. And they were 5 or 6 guys, all muscled out, East Coast accents, real tan, skinny ripped jeans.
Yeah.
It's their weekly, their once a year trip with their friends. One guy was an older guy, and throughout the entire time, he was just on his phone.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was on his phone because he didn't want to be. He was smart enough to go, I don't want to be seen doing anything douchey on camera. These guys came on. They were drinking so much, and you just knew that they thought they were hilarious. Hilarious. Like she's like, and if you guys later today want to do any water sports, we have the paddle boards out. And they're like, is this a water sport? And they do a shot of drinking. And they're like high-fiving, like rolling over, just laughing like we're so funny. And so this part was the most disturbing part. There's this cute girl who...
Is she one of the workers on the boat?
She's a steward, so she serves the drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
And her name's Madison. And she comes out, and this one guy, she hands him the drinks or whatever, and he just goes, wait a minute, and he picks her up and starts doing reps with her body.
Yeah.
And she is like, put me down, please put me down, put me down, put me down.
Yeah.
I just watched it. She says it like 5 times. And he's like, oh, don't tell anyone. And then he says to the guys, the little girl, I just did curls with her, meaning like,
yeah.
Oh my God. I just remember that I worked at this ice cream shop when I was 16.
Which place?
Haagen-Dazs.
Ooh.
And
fancy.
It was kind of fancy.
Yeah.
But it was in a bad location. We
like the
really,
higher end Baskin and Robbins.
Yeah, but we weren't that busy because it wasn't like near the movie theater or
Yeah.
anything. This guy liked me. We kind of flirted. He was sort of like our
customer
manager.
or a fellow?
No, he was sort of like the manager.
Yeah.
Okay. I talked about this in my book, but Swiss almond fudge was an extremely hard
To scoop.
Yeah. Harder than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me at least 8 minutes to get 1 scoop out of it. So when someone ordered Swiss almond fudge, I was like, I'm going to kill myself. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, I started to do okay at the job. And he came one day and no one's there. We're hanging out and he's drunk. And he's like, maybe he's like 17 or 8. Maybe he's like 18 and I'm like 16. Okay.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm sitting in a booth. And I'm sitting in the booth up against the wall. And he and his 2 friends are there. And he sits next to me. And he's like drunk, but like flirting with me.
Now, who's manning the ice cream at this point? Are you guys just
I think
slacking
there's one
off?
other person that's like doing it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ugh," and he pushes his body next to mine.
Right.
And it was this like panic feeling. Like I was getting so physically hurt by being pushed up against this wall. And he was so drunk and like didn't realize how drunk and his strength and like how much he was hurting me. That I mean, I don't remember how I finally got him released. I feel like I might have had to like pinch him or something and be like, get off of me. Like it really fucking hurt. But he was my boss and he came and he was drunk and it was Haagen-Dazs. Like I just watching this, to use the word of the day, but I was like triggered. I'm like, the way that a guy just saw her, there's so many things wrong with this.
Just like an overly aggressive.
Overly aggressive. I'm paying for this. We're paying for this yacht.
Right.
So we can manhandle the staff.
Yeah.
You should find it funny that I'm big enough to pick you up and there's no way you can stop it.
Yeah, that's insane.
And then she goes to the one guy that works there, and you can tell she's like about to cry. And he goes, it's okay. What do you want me to do? And then they later reveal, like on another show, like on Watch What Happens Live, that the other guy, Parker, he was like, I'll never leave you alone with them. I'll switch my thing so I'm with you at night. But, she decided not to tell the captain or anybody because she's like, if they get reprimanded, then that's going to affect our big tip at the end, which we all split.
Right.
And she's like, it's just a thing of yachting. And I'm like, oh my God. Then the guys, they never get any girls. they're going to be, their lives are ruined after being on the show. I'm sure every person has found them and has given them millions of hate tweets and posts.
I have to watch this now. I feel like
the douchery of them. And now that they're gone, I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy the next episode. But like, they get so drunk, they go to this bar, they try to find these girls, they find very average girls. They're like, hey, can we get a DJ back on the boat?
So the boat like docks, and then they get off to go.
The dock is it's like off it's off outside. Then they take a small boat, a Tinder boat,
to like the party
to
scene.
the beach scene.
Yeah.
Then they're out there, and it's like 12:30, and they say the guy that's with them, can we get a DJ back on the boat, and we want to bring some guests? It's already 12:30. They've already cleaned up. Half the staff's gone to bed, and they're like, no problem. They get a DJ. DJ puts all his stuff on the Tinder. They set up the DJ. Now it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Then these girls come that are not even that cute, and they're all drinking. They're not even getting with them. They're still just drinking. They're just showing off. Like, we can get girls and a DJ.
And what part of the world is this happening?
Greece.
Oh, okay.
And then it's like 2:30 in the morning or something, and then this one girl goes to the poor Madison, who's been manhandled and everything.
Yeah.
They're like, hi, I'm sorry to do this to you. One of the girls got sick. There is puke all over the deck, in the little crevices of the deck.
Yeah.
And they have to clean it up.
Gotta hose that off, right?
Oh, it was awful.
But I guess that happens. Especially on a boat.
And they were just awful. But in the end, I guess they gave her one of the bigger tips.
Oh,
but I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how they find people to go on these shows. I've said it over and over, because either you're going to be on your best behavior so that you don't look like an asshole, and you're not going to be featured anyway. You still have to pay. And then you might not have that good of a time, because you're like paying all this money, but you're almost afraid to like ask for anything.
Right.
Or if you really rip it like these guys
then
did, then you look like a douche to the entire world forever.
Right.
Like if you marry one of those douchey guys,
everyone's
going to remember that was the douche from the Below Deck show.
Yeah. There was a show years ago. I think it was on MTV or whatever. My Life as a, and it was, remember it was called, the series was called like My Life as a, and then you could plug in whatever.
Okay.
My Life as a blah, blah, my life.
Yeah.
And it was like My Life as a Guido or some Jersey Shore. It was like before Jersey Shore.
Okay.
And it was these two guys. And they almost became like famous from that show.
Yeah.
They were the fucking worst. I don't know where they are now, but like I remember like they were in a bar one time when I was there. And
you were at the bar with them. Yeah.
Like later after it aired, and
Right.
people were freaking out as if it was, Tom Cruise. And I was like, oh, this guy, I mean, he just thinks he's the shit now because he was on some stupid MTV show. So that's why they do it, I think, because they think, it's celebrity.
Speaking of like old reality shows people, there last night someone posted that Kelly Bessimone, who was a Real Housewives of New York for maybe like 4 seasons or something. I think she might have been an original one. But she was on like 4 or 5 years. And but it hasn't been on for years.
Yeah.
Like at least 5 or 6 years. At the time she was divorced, ex-model. She was married to a photographer. I think she kind of did some photography or wrote a book or something. Her girls are now like probably like 18 and 20. And her Instagram now shows that she's selling real estate, like high-end real estate. She does a lot of like Instagram posts with it. And somebody was like, wow, she's a real estate agent now or something. And I wrote on the post and I go, I'm sorry, what the fuck do you expect her to do? She's a woman in her 50s. She's divorced.
Yeah.
She hasn't been on a reality show in 6 years. She's never going to be asked back. She wasn't an actress.
Yeah.
So she got into high-end real estate.
And Montaukers. I see her out in Montauk a lot.
Like, I think that's a great thing to do. And I remember that, speaking of Corey Feldman, when I did that interview with Corey Feldman, he brought up something really profound in a way. He's like, everybody's so happy to like make fun of the guy that was on Cosby that was working at Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Or make fun of a teen star that's now doing this. And it's like, well, this is not like a skill like being, I mean, it's more shocking that like a doctor loses his license and never can be a doctor again.
Right.
To me, that's way more shocking. You learned a skill and somehow you fucked up so badly, we won't let you do the skill again. But acting, reality show stuff, I kind of just like, what do you expect these people to do when this ends?
I always hated like with those, even like those jokes on Chelsea Lately when people would do like, whoever.
Oh, like a one-hit wonder or
like
a has-been.
career's over or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I mean, I never like joined in on those type of jokes. I never liked it because we could all be there tomorrow. Like I just read the guy. Actually, he was on After Lately. He was a real handsome. He was a model in like a Janet Jackson video. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about? Italian name. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, he was a model?
He was like in a Janet Jackson video but he went on to have like pretty, some fame in like Hallmark movies or whatever.
Okay.
Everyone knows who I'm talking about. He was big time. He was famous.
Whatever. Well, don't get angry. We're playing charades at this point.
I know. But
we don't know.
I'm upset that it's not coming to me.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway, I read a couple days ago, and then he went out and became like a big Trump supporter. And he said that. And
Antonio Sabato Jr. Yes.
And now he's doing construction in Florida. He's working on houses. He's a construction worker in Florida.
And he's saying because they found...
Yeah, he said he couldn't get any work at, and now he's not that there's nothing wrong with that. He's making a living, but I just read that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, he
was another guy. He wasn't an actor. He was a model.
He got the parts because he was hot.
Right.
And you know what? He has worked. He just had a reality show recently.
But that was a long time ago.
Not that long ago. So on the other part of me is like, save your fucking money.
Right.
Like, I am not going to feel badly for you. I remember like even Reese Witherspoon, who, now has a new show, Little Fires or something on Hulu, which I want to watch, and become a producer and stuff. And she gave this speech, and basically I felt the gist of the speech was, I had been in all these movies starting at 15, and then when I got close to 40, the opportunity started to dry up.
Right.
So I had to produce my own. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's a normal progression. And you should know that like, there's a little, there's an infinite time. I mean, not everybody's going to be Patricia Heaton or, Julia Louis-Dreyfus that gets like 5 shows in a row that are all hits that go for 5 years.
Yeah, honestly, there's nobody like that.
No, they're the only two.
Yeah.
Like, literally the only two
even
people.
Even like Tom Hanks and stuff like that. Like, there's like 3 people who can go from 28 to 78 in this business. Otherwise, there's none.
So, like, you should know to save your money, have a side thing going, make sure you got something, and then so that when it happens, when you're not a reality star anymore or when you're not acting, that you still are doing something that you enjoy.
You know what would be a funny thing to do? Go back and watch Cribs and see all those guys who nobody knows who they are anymore, rolling through their 9 cars, through the kitchen, with the giant Viking refrigerators.
Yeah, I mean, Cribs, where are they now would be really great.
And everyone, they all got to be like, you just see them like cementing over the hot tub and making it another room to Airbnb.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't
think they spent their money
seeing
smart.
Cisco on it. Thong, that guy thong.
Yes.
And I was like, this house is ridiculous. It's 19 rooms or whatever. I was like, he has one song about some girl's underwear. Like, how much money could that possibly have made him?
Well, I wonder if he even owned the house. Was he just renting it because he was like, yeah, I can afford $30,000 a month because I've got $60,000 in the bank. I've got 3 months to kill it. Like, I mean, what are you thinking?
Well, let's watch some old Cribs one day and talk about.
We have so much more to talk about, Chris.
We do?
I'm going to show you what else I have. Do you mind if I take you over to Patreon?
Doesn't mind
so we're
at all.
because there's a couple more things I want to discuss that I think are a little too juicy for the regular show. So I'm going to go and share it on Patreon. We're going to talk about something that Drake, my son, told me that I thought was kind of juicy. And I'm going to talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills trailer and Love After Lockup. But Chris, everybody follow Chris. His shows have been are being rescheduled too. But go to his site, and hopefully
follow my podcast Cover to Cover.
Yes,
I've started a Patreon, like Heather told me to do, and do all that. It's fun.
Lots of free content for you. Lots of free and fun, and some that costs a little bit.
$5, you cheap bastards.
So so you're gonna go if you want to listen to more of this. You want to check it out. You're ready to take the plunge. If not, this is always the Friday extra juicy scoop with Chris Franjola. Will be up Friday, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about these hot topics that are a little too hot for the regular show. And you go to patreon.com/juicy scoop. Thank you, Chris.